you're also grieving the loss of everything. Everything changes. Nothing feels the same. Everything you thought you had planned for the future, everything you thought that the way things were going to be, it's gone. It's like. So that clip of my post from January 11th, it was actually because I was feeling guilty about wanting to move forward. Even though my New Year's resolution was that I was going to move forward and I was going to stop being a zombie and I was going to somehow try to figure out how to live again. That was my New Year's resolution. And I'd spent 7 months almost every night still looking at pictures and videos and crying myself to sleep, and decided I wasn't going to do that no more. Now, I'm not saying I will never look at pictures or videos. They're going to come up in my memories. And he's going to always be in my heart. But I knew he's not here anymore, and I knew I needed to put it down, let it go. And so on New Year's Eve, I went through by myself. So New Year's Eve by myself, I went through all of our old pictures and videos, cried, laid in bed for a while. Then right before New Year's Eve, I went outside with a glass of wine and decided that was going to be the last time I did that. But then I started feeling guilty about wanting to move forward for some reason. Maybe because he's not able to, even though I know he's with the Lord and he's in a better place. But, yeah, I know grief is a funny thing. A lot of other people on the grief journey have told me the same thing. So, it's just weird. You know, he was a part of my life for 4 years, and ever since I was a little girl, I did have a way of how I thought my life would be. I think everybody does that, right? So, and I've talked about that before, but I even as a little girl, I had kind of a weird outlook on love. Like when I was 10 years old, in like 5th grade, I had my first boyfriend, and I'd had a crush on this guy since like 1st grade, and then he finally asked me out, and we went out for 2 days because I broke up with him. It was 2 days of us sitting on the bus next to each other, sitting at lunch next to each other, playing on the playground, and I just looked at him on the 2nd day and was like, what are we doing? What are we doing? Like, I mean, it's nice to know that you like me back, and it's nice to know that, I don't know, this is, we're 10 years old, we're not going to get married, it's not like we're going to be together forever. This just seems kind of silly to me. I think we should break up. He looked very confused, and he was just like, but I thought you liked me. I'm like, it's not that I don't like you, but I think we were having more fun when I was hanging out, like, riding BMX with, our friends and my brothers, and, I don't think I'm ready for this. I was 10. So, yeah, and then I didn't date again until, like, probably my junior year in high school, and then I never dated anybody serious until, my ex-husband. So, I think because my outlook on love was shaped a lot by my grandmother, who was a Bible teacher. You know, my parents, they did separate when I was around that age, and then they did end up divorcing when I was 12. So I think that probably had a big impact on it. But, I just didn't feel like investing in anything that didn't seem like it was going to go anywhere. And for some reason, I would make that assumption pretty quick. I was called the 3-week wonder in high school. Yeah. Didn't sleep around. Most of the guys I dated, I never even kissed. So, there's that. Yeah, my ex-husband was my first. And I was 20. Anyways. I'm just thinking about like that verse 2 in the Bible. It's Matthew 22, I think it's 36 through 40 is the passage where the guy asked Jesus what the greatest commandment is. And he responded, I think the other verse is also in Leviticus. I think it's 18 or 19 is the chapter, but it's somewhere in there. Anyways, said to love the Lord thy God with all thy heart, with all thy soul, with all thy might, and to love thy neighbor as thyself. Upon this, everything else hinges, because if you are treating others and loving others the way you want to be treated, you're not going to break the other commandments, because they all hinge on that very thing. And I've talked about that before. To me, love is something that's like unconditional. You know, people aren't perfect. They're going to make mistakes. So when I was talking about like this idea of like the fairy tale and the white picket fence, to me those are just expressions. Like, for me it's actually like somewhere safe. That's kind of, I think, safe. One of my favorite chapters in the Bible, growing up, on love. It's quoted in so many wedding ceremonies. Is actually like 1 Corinthians chapter 13. It says, if I speak with the tongues of angels but have not love, I'm just a sounding gong and clanging cymbal. It goes on to describe how love is patient, love is kind, it's not boastful, it's not arrogant, it's not self-seeking. It bears all things, believes all things, hopes all things, endures all things. It keeps no record of wrongs. But the verse in that chapter that gets me the most is actually, I'm going to read it in the Amplified Version. It is verse 12, I believe. And, gosh, this is a long video. I'm starting to run out of time. For now we are looking in a mirror that goes only a dim, blurred reflection of reality, as in a middle or enigma. But then, when perfection comes, we shall see it really and face to face. Now I know in part, but then I shall know and understand fully and clearly, even on the same manner as I have been really and clearly known and understood by God. That looking in a mirror dimly part, the reflecting, the knowing that it says, when I was a child, I spoke as a child, I thought as a child, I reasoned as a child. But when I became a man, I put away childish things. Yeah, that one just gets me. Reflection is important. But God knows everything about us. He accepts us. He loves us, no matter what. And that's how we're supposed to show others love. Now, I have said we're not supposed to be doormats. I'm not saying that, but that's, to me, one of the most important things. Anyways, that's just my thoughts for tonight. Finally able to share a little bit.